Yes.
So if you use the freezing method to calculate the liquid holdup, how do you know if you got the entire slot?
Freezing method is a mass balance to calculate liquid holdup. Slab length. But could you please repeat your question again?
Don't you use the freezing method to calculate the liquid holdup
Of what?
of the slab?
Slab body? The question I got is, did I not use freezing method to calculate slab body liquid holdup? No, I don't. Slab body liquid holdup should come from closure relationship. Okay. But if you happen to take slab length and slab frequency at the same time, so maybe you have to adjust the HRLS. But the suggested way to do it is get HRLS from the model, select either frequency or slab length. And if you select frequency, then we adjust slab length. If we select slab length, then we adjust frequency. Freezing method or that mass balancing is to check if, let's say we take frequency value as the right value, we have to adjust slab length, right? How do we adjust slab length? We adjust slab length until we have mass balance. That's the role of that freezing method or the mass balance method. A little bit clearer? All right. Okay, we know about slab flow model. Let's take a look on how do we combine them together. For pipeline, we finished all the pipeline already. Okay. Xiao et al. 1990 proposed this model, and of course this is a good model. That's why I tell you, is better than every mechanistic model. Okay. For stratified flow, Xiao et al. Use Taylor-Douglas. Okay. For composite model, F sub I calculation is from Annistor's and Herenti correlation for small pipe diameter and Baker correlation for large pipe. The equation is given already. Okay. So in stratified model, we need some closure relationship. One of that is F sub I, right? Interfacial friction factor. Where is 3.73? Which page number? You don't like this question? Maybe you need a quiz for this. Which page number is 3.73? Is that page 82? See that? Mu something, n sub mu. So that is closure relationship suggested by Xiao et al. It better be a good one, right? That's what they try several things and these work best. F sub L and F sub G are determined based on phase, hydraulic diameter, and Reynolds number, the equation that we already studied. Okay. So when you ask me, hey, which friction factor is best? Use whatever Xiao et al. Use.
So the constant for Fi was stratified wavy. Can that be used when we are calculating a model for stratified wavy? I think it's a constant.
It can, but that's not what have been used by Xiao et al.
So Xiao et al. is
Let's see their result. Okay. That's for stratified flow. For slug flow, Xiao et al. Use equilibrium liquid film method. Okay. No numerical integration is needed. It is a simplified method. Look, it's 1990. Do you want them to solve RK4 every time? Nah, maybe that's too much. Gregory et al. Is suggested by HRLS. Why don't they use Gomez at all? Why don't they use Gomez at all? Do you know that? I said, why did they not use Gomez at all? But I said use Gomez at all. Why's that? Victor, what do you say?
Gomez was 2000.
Hey, that's correct. At that time, they don't have Gomez at all yet. The best available is Gregory. Gomez at all come year 2000. Okay, so they cannot use it. They did it in 1990. You see the point? Okay. And for slug length, they use 3.173. Tau F, tau G, tau I is very well suggested by Tater-Banin. Bendixson is used for VTB, and VTLS is calculated from that equation, which HLS to the power of 0.1. What is that? What is 3.165? 3.165, which way? 0.10? Not
110.
Oh, 110. Okay. And the top equation, right? Is this a typo that they use HLS to the power of 0.1 for VGLS? That equation is 0.5, but that's not Xiao use. Where do I get this information from? What do you think? I think it's come from page 12. 112. Velocity of small bubble liquid sludge is determined by equation 3.165 for bubble swarm. Xiao use value of 0.1 for exponent, namely HLS to the power of 0.1. They found that 0.1 much better. Okay. Alright, another flow. This is for horizontal case, okay? The film washer stress is calculated by Alves et al. I think he come to do the interview at Texas Tech sometime. You may not saw that. Okay, anyway, we haven't covered that yet. Entrainment fraction come from element correlation something. This bubble flow, we already covered it. Use homogeneous no slip model. Consider frictional and gravitational pressure loss. No accelerational term. See? Neglect accelerational pressure drop. How good is that model? Okay, we have. We need to compare with what? McLeod, Eaton, Payne et al. Okay, this is the data. That's data bank. And they have several definitions for error. What's error means? Epsilon 1, delta PC minus delta PM, delta P calculate minus delta P measure divided by delta P measure multiplied by 100. Summation everything over N. Epsilon 2 is have absolute value. Epsilon 3 is like standard deviation. Okay, epsilon 4, epsilon 5, something. We focus more on epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. Okay. This model means Xiao et al. Compared to Beck and Brew. What is number 3? McCritchie Brew. Okay, number 4, original Doppler. Number 5, Doppler-Eaton. And actually we have Doppler-Eaton Flanagan. Okay, look at 115, page 115. So in short, Xiao et al. Model is better than Beck and Brew, McCritchie Brew, original Doppler, Doppler-Eaton Flanagan. Okay, Doppler-Eaton Flanagan is some people use it. Okay? Some people use Beck and Brew, but those models they are not mechanistic model. They are not based on combined Newton equation with cross relationship. They are more like empirical based model. That's why look at epsilon 2. Epsilon 2. epsilon 1, if you have error, unbiased error, you over predict half of the time, under predict half of the time, it can be 0, right? Because there is no absolute sign. But epsilon 2, we put absolute over there. If you over predict half of the time, under predict half of the time, epsilon 2 is not going to be 0. Okay. Let's see the result. Epsilon 2. This model, after you go through all the pain, is a little bit better than Begenville. So Begenville is still okay. Okay. But this one is better. Epsilon 1 is more. Right? Begenville is less. What does it mean? Do we use this? Yes, of course. Epsilon 3 standard deviation is kind of less. Epsilon 4, epsilon 5. This is for independent flow performance. Okay. Look at Dr. Eaton. What about Dr. Eaton? We have this one. Oh, sorry, I skipped. So for stratified flow performance, Begenville is okay, but this one is a little bit better. Okay. Intermittent flow, this model is better, the best. Better than Begenville, Begenville, original Douglas, Eaton, Flanagan. Best, right? See that? What about annular flow? Annular flow, this model is also the best, but it's comparable to Begenville, comparable to Douglas, Eaton, Flanagan. Okay? But it's better in the sense of like unbiased prediction. It over predict half of the time and then predict half of the time. So it's minus 3.6. Overall prediction, combine everything all together. Of course, stratified flow, maybe Begenville is a little bit better, but when we combine everything, this model is better than Douglas, Eaton, Flanagan. But when we say the best, what is the best? The absolute average absolute percentage error, actually, absolute relative percentage error is 30%. What is that telling you? Even if we use the best model ever, we will have about 30% error. Okay. Alright? And this is for steady state prediction. Steady state prediction is easier than transient prediction. So the answer that we got from the simulator, any simulator, is not a God answer. It has 30% uncertainty. Be aware of that. It's not like, hey, it's correct. Look, my calculation is this. Your experiment is wrong. No. What we get is not a God answer. It's the answer that based on several kind of parameter. Okay, it's have partial relationship. Okay, it's have this and have that. But okay, eventually it's good enough. 30% uncertainty. Average relative error. All right. Question. So we conclude horizontal flow in the pipe except annular flow. Okay. So by today you should be able to do all the flow pattern transition line that you have from the program. Okay. You should be able to draw that S-curve shape in the book for the case that is not available in the book. You remember in the exam? In the exam, I provided a couple pages about that S-shaped curve, right? Okay. You should be able to draw that. Right, okay. I use a Python script to draw the contour. Okay, it's take a little bit of time. I didn't actually draw the line, but I calculate every point and draw the contour. Okay. Question on this horizontal flow. Objective is you know how to calculate pressure drop in stratified flow. Do you know that by now? Yes. Homogeneous dispersed bubble flow. Do you know that by now? Slab flow, not annular flow yet. That's okay. Okay. So if I have some flow that is not annular flow, you can calculate. You determine the flow pattern, and you can calculate pressure drop, and at the end, you get the best performance, a little bit better than Beck-and-Bill. But if you don't use this suggestion and you use something else, it's not guaranteed that you will be 30% off. Okay, it can be more. Right? Okay, I hope you are aware of what's going on in the simulator or steady state calculation for mechanistic model. And when you go to the oil field and people use the chart, use Beck-and-Bill model, Mercury-Gibril, Douglas Eaton, Flanagan, you say, okay, I understand. You got your point. I have my calculation too. Xiao results show that a mechanistic model is a little bit better. Actually, it's quite a lot actually. Okay, next part. Let's move on to the vertical flow. This is vertical flow. Okay, vertical flow. In vertical flow, let's do this for 10 minutes and then we do something else. But for vertical flow, we have similar approach. We have to find the flow pattern. After we find the flow pattern, then we calculate pressure drop in each flow pattern. Vertical flow is important for flow in a well. Okay, it's important to do outflow performance, inflow performance, relationship. Okay, you may know the inflow, but this is the outflow part, right? So it's important for the pressure drop calculation in the well, for the case that you have gas. Okay? Inside the well, we can have several flow patterns at once. In the same well, it may start with dispersed bubble flow and gas expand, and we have slab flow, gas expand more, we may have another flow. It can have several flow patterns in the same well. Okay? But we look at one at a time. Alright? So in this case, this is typical flow pattern map. We plot superficial liquid velocity, superficial gas velocity here. We have bubble flow. Have you seen bubble flow? Yes, I think I showed you the video. Bubble flow. Slab flow for vertical flow. Churn flow, you see in the lab, right? Churn flow is this area. Churn flow is the transition from slab to annular flow, and this is bubble flow. Victor, what is the difference between churn flow and slab flow?
The churn flow is chaotic, the shape of the bubble.
Churn flow is what?
Is chaotic, like it doesn't
Chaotic.
have the bubble doesn't have a shape.
A certain shape. Okay. Han, Kai Ho, what is the difference between dispersed bubble flow and bubble flow? B and dB, what is the difference?
The one you say can also have higher liquid velocity.
Which one has higher liquid velocity?
Guess one.
What?
Triple is
No, I'm asking about bubble flow and dispersed bubble flow. What is the main difference between those two flow patterns?
Okay, the bubble flow is like shifting left and right going up.
And dispersed bubble flow doesn't shift?
I mean, this bubble flow, bubble is the same speed as the fluid.
What? Bubble speed is?
The same as the fluid. Bubble speed is the same as the fluid.
Oh, okay. In short, This bubble flow doesn't have slip. Bubble flow has slip. The difference between slug flow and churn flow is the developing region of the slug flow. If the pipe is short, we see churn flow. But if the pipe is long enough, we'll see slug flow. Okay? Of course, churn flow has chaos. It's chaotic in nature. So that line is dependent on the length of the pipe. Alright? If we look at the very beginning, maybe this should be more, right? If you look far away from the inlet, we don't have that line at all, maybe. So it's the length dependent. The rest is not dependent on the length. Okay? This is Xiao model, 1980. Dash line, experiment, solid line. Dash line is models, dash line is from experiment. It's close. Right? It's not exactly matched, but it's close. Okay? That line, and not quite close. Okay, let's take a look at that model. And eventually, we will have ancillary model that combine everything all together, become comprehensive vertical flow model that we should use. Okay. All. Step 1, we do flow pattern characterization. First, we focus on transition E, bubble to slug transition. That, bubble to slug transition. When will that happen? Oh, if we don't have small bubble, then we have slug flow. So at low gas flow rate, bubble flow without colliding or collision. At gas flow rate increase, you see that alpha is 1 minus HR, right? Gas flow rate increase reach about 0.2. Okay. Researchers found that collision frequency go up quick. So if we have too much void fraction, it will merge or coalesce and become Taylor bubble. Then we cannot have bubble flow. It becomes slug flow. Right? Let's go back to the flow pattern map. If we put a little bit of gas, small velocity of gas, we have bubble flow, 1 bubble, 2 bubble. But if we put a lot of gas in, bubble collide, merge together and become slug flow, big bubble. Okay, in Xiao model, 1980, they proposed some mechanism for the criteria for the merge to happen. They start with the 3D model. 3D means that circle is not circle, it's like sphere. Okay, spherical shape. In simple cubic, okay, we have alpha about 52%. Fat center cubic, 74%. Body center cubic, 74%. But they say, okay, that is the maximum void fraction. They say, okay, if its void fraction is more than that, then it should coalesce, right? They think about, okay, for bubble to coalesce or merge, what is the tight as possible, what is the maximum alpha that we can put them together? But eventually say, hey, look, it doesn't need for the bubble to be packed closely in order to merge. They say, okay, if we have gap of half of the radius, it can merge. And that happen to be alpha equal to 0.25. Below 0.25, it doesn't merge. But if we have bubble more than 0.25, it kind of merge. And this is consistent with Rodovich and Moises found. So if you look at 0.25, it's that line, right? Above 0.25, it starts to coalesce and merge. So this means bubble doesn't need to touch each other, because in turbulent flow it's like moving sideways to vibrate. So in that model, it's this case. alpha equal to 0.25, the merge happened. Alright? Now let's take a look at bubble rise velocity, or V0 infinity. V0 infinity is about the terminal velocity of single bubble in an infinite stagnant liquid medium. Terminal velocity, not initial velocity. Okay. You see this? We plot bubble rise velocity and diameter of bubble. So if bubble become bigger, it have faster or higher terminal velocity. Small bubble doesn't move fast. Big bubble move fast. Does it make sense? Okay. When bubble is larger than the critical point, okay, something happens. It doesn't gain more bubble rise velocity anymore. Okay. That's what they found. So they have this plot. Say, okay, at a critical point, larger than this, the terminal velocity is the same. Okay. And this discussion will lead to transition E. Okay, we will talk about it next time. And then we will also talk about the criterion for existence. If pipe is too small, we have slug flow. If pipe is too big, we don't have slug flow or something. Okay.
And then you say when the pipe is short.
No, that's covered later. That we will talk about that later. Not yet. Existence of transition E. For now, close the book. We'll do the quiz. Yeah, the quiz. Close the book, no computer, close everything. Close everything. Okay. Then we have the quiz.
Did you send us like something that was ridiculous?
No calculator, no book.
Put the book away.
Don't start yet.
Is this the solution?
You should be able to do it. I give you 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. You can start. You can stop at 12, 20, 45. How about that? Give you some more time.
You don't have next Is this a shit?
I don't tell you anything. No talking. No calculator. Okay. Stop at 12, 20, 45. Just 5 minutes. If you finish early, you can just leave. You have 4 minutes left. Make sure you write your name. You don't write your name, give you 0. Okay? 3 minutes left. Done? It's the same. Answer your question is the same. What we show. No trick.
Yeah, this is it.
If you cannot do it, I have to give you 0. No problem. So this is your last quiz. So you have a question?
No.
Okay, fine. Done? Is it fine now? You didn't write your, oh, you write your name, okay. Cannot give you 0. Almost forget. Write your name. If you forget to write your name, I have to give you 0. 2 minutes left. How come you don't have anti class? You cancel the class or what?
No,
So the next is I should go to.
we don't have it next. This Thursday, so this week is off.
Ah, okay, very good.
But he was